Semantics.
Don't be a smartass.
Semantics.
I mean it. Conduct yourself properly.
Consciousness.
Your analytical approach is faulty.
Semantics.
I'm done with you.
Women's sexual energy is perfectly fine.
This shit eat ass. Yes.
I'm the least racist guy ever. Communism is great. Anime is for fucking gays and I'm straight as fuck. Women, gays, and degenerates. I'm absolutely woke person. So I guess I'm the perfect person to watch The Acolyte. As we all know, this show is clearly not made for actual Star Wars fans. And fortunately, I don't care about Star Wars universe at all. So if the showrunners rewrote the entire lore and made the Jedi the bad guys, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm basically on the Sith side. They're interesting and mysterious, while the Jedi are boring as fuck. I would honestly love to see how a Sith actually operates, how power and those uncontrollable negative emotions are meant to coexist. I also don't care about racism at all.
As long as we're talking about sci-fi or modern day settings.
I'm absolutely against diversity in fantasy or medieval settings, like The Witcher or Rings of Power, because it just makes zero logical sense and completely kills immersion and the believability of the world. In a medieval style world, diversity has to be justified by lore and internal logic, otherwise it is just dumb and painfully boring brainwashing. But in sci-fi or modern settings, go ahead, make all the characters different races, I won't even blink. It makes total sense within those worlds. The only thing that matters is whether the characters are good. And honestly bro, I don't even want a white girlfriend. I would prefer hot Africa woman or Latina babe or Asian cutie. So I'm the most multicultural guy on planet Earth, I'm the least racist guy ever. Like tell me, what can be more cosmopolitan and woke than wanting to dip my Brian Johnson in someone of another race? So I guess that's my shield from any racist accusation ever. And even more so, I have no problem with strong female protagonists if they are done well. I don't even mind a feminist lesbian witch coven. It is actually a pretty cool idea if you manage to build a solid lore around it. If we're stuck in this woke brain dead time, why not to use it for good storytelling and world building? By the way, I broke my microphone stand, so today we are on the little bit gay setting. But I'm not gay, it is just my sister's room, because I sleep with my sister. I mean because I'm afraid to sleep alone. And because her pussy. In this video we'll discuss a little bit of everything. Visuals, character development, story, fights, acting, etc. So I sat down to watch The Acolyte. A little skeptical because I already knew the general public reaction, but overall curious and open-minded. The only spoilers I knew are that the main character has a twin sister and that there's a lesbian witch coven with some super cringe song in it.
Yes.
The first thing that hit me, The Acolyte looks pretty good. Not gorgeous, not beautiful, just acceptable, just nice in terms of serious. But still, it is the best looking Star Wars show. Ahsoka has pretty good cinematic compositions and wide shots, and the image looks clean in a good way without that heavy film grain. But in terms of color, Ahsoka is like eating a kilogram of rice without salt. It is painfully desaturated, boring, lifeless and washed out. Just remembering this show makes me sleepy. Andor, in my opinion, looks just awful. I absolutely hate those dry, cold, faded yellows mixed with heavy reds on Ferrix, these white dull tones around the Empire setting, those lifeless landscapes, these heavy orange tones on Man's wedding, and overall this cold cyan lighting everywhere. Honestly, I don't ever want to revisit Andor just to avoid looking at these colors, bro. It is so cold and unpleasant, I just can't remember another show that repelled me just with colors the way Andor did. Obi-Wan looks just like nothing. Unlike Andor, it doesn't even make me angry, it just doesn't exist to me. Mandalorian is overall nice, but it still feels very CGI and lifeless. But the Acolyte looks pretty nice to me, because the image is so underexposed, you never get these blown out white highlights, so the brighter areas can stay colorful, and this way whole image ends up feeling more integrated. Of course, I personally prefer full cinematic visual like Rogue One or the sequels, but among the TV shows, the Acolyte is the most visually pleasant to me. Especially I love this city, the way it uses blue and purple colors. I like this lesbian town with this deep dark violet mood. I like this forest, especially at night, with this flamey orange light, cold moonlight and colorful lightsabers. The only problem is that because the Acolyte is so underexposed, a lot of daytime scenes end up looking like shit. Like some vintage retro video shot on an old camera. Like what happens with this water, for example, or with this shot. Another thing that I immediately liked was Mei design. Nice purple color balanced by orange hairs, the chainmail, the samurai armor vibe, the shinobi style mask. The whole look is just badass and pretty iconic. Like personally I can't think of anything more boring than usual Jedi robes, and costume like this is pretty great. But unfortunately Mei herself doesn't match coolness of her outfit. Every movement the actress makes feels unconfident. Even in the first few seconds she blinks like she's scared. In this moment here she looks like she's trembling from fear. From the first second the show mocks on her and plays with her like she's a kid. Maybe that's the point, because whole her arc is built around she's too weak to become a Sith. But this cool appearance mixed with awkward insecure behavior makes the whole thing feel fake and cringe. And also the way that Mei fights feels pretty unconvincing. It feels more like dance or gymnastics. Every time she strikes I feel like it does zero damage. Like this little girl Jackie, even old rugged soul, looks more dangerous. Then suddenly Mei kills a Jedi, using a surprisingly dirty nasty trick like a real villain. But immediately after she looks frightened and unsure again. Yet her walk and posture still seems confident and dramatic. Then she shows mercy to the bartender and looks fragile again, only to immediately turn around and walk off like a total badass. Technically it all fits Mei character. She's been pulled toward the dark side, but inside she feels weak and insecure. But still, I can't buy it. To be fair, I think the actress was handed an extremely difficult job, playing two different twin characters, both with complex emotional arcs. Mei is torn between the dark side, pain, revenge, and at the same time she's unsure and ready to throw it all for her sister. Osha is supposed to be good, but she carries pain too. She can't deal with her anger and fear, she loves Mei but blames her for everything, and now she might end up as full-on evil Sith herself. Even just imagining it already feels way too complex, so I don't want to put all the blame on the actress.
I can't do that.
And you know, I just realized not once during the show I thought like, oh, it is the same actress. Like watching Acolyte I really saw Mei and Osha on the screen, like a different persons. But still, even though actress handles the characters across the whole show, in the big emotional moments of character transformation it feels very flat and boring. But anyway, I think I want to blame writing for this. If Mei had been written as a colder and more confident killer, and Osha as more soft and kind but with sharp bursts of pain and anger, I think the actress could have delivered a much more believable performance. But instead we got these smashy, whining, morally ambiguous characters who are so vaguely written, so you can't even tell what they are supposed to be or how they should express themselves. Speaking of twins, as for me, it kills Acolyte just at this core. I don't know, maybe just me, but I just hate everything around twin trope. It always triggers a deepest boredom and hatred in me. Like, you know, I don't mind Luke and Leia being twins or Jaime and Cersei being twins. I mean twins who look the same, who swap places, if we build some mystery and intrigue around that, if they are spiritually connected, if there are some twists around this, or if they can replace one another in the story. Exactly what we get in the Acolyte. Maybe I'm even a bit relieved they told us us up front that Mei and Osha are different people. Because if the whole plot had been built around this twin mystery, I could have just dropped the show immediately. Speaking of twins, let's move on to overall plot. Right from the start, the show tries to build some kind of mystery around Mei and Osha, but almost immediately it gives us every reason to believe we're dealing with twins. By the middle of first episode, it's already a guaranteed conclusion. So I don't even know what was the point of all this. You could completely erase the whole subplot where the Jedi captures Osha, accuses her, and she escapes, and instead just have her meet the Jedi directly, and the Jedi already knows about Mei and Osha and nothing would change. We would only save time. What also drove me insane was the artificial mystery around Saul. I swear, like 10 times they tease us with hints. The Sith mocks him like, you hide your face from your student. Saul himself constantly goes, okay, I'll tell you the truth, I promise, just wait, right now I'll tell you the truth, and every time he's interrupted, Mei drops some vague lines instead of saying, it was Saul, he killed our mother. It all just feels like the most annoying kind of edging. Like, you know, not wonderful sexy pleasure type of edging. That fake sense of suspense made the entire Saul mystery deeply annoying for me. And if Mei is not even a mystery in this story and she is just a key for the mysterious Sith Lord, so he should be a bigger focus, right? But here show does the opposite. It builds no tension around him. When they revealed the bartender was Sith, I felt nothing. Like, I didn't even know I was supposed to feel anything. He's behind Mei, Jedi seems interested in him, Mei starts to fear him, but the show never creates any real sense of danger or suspense or anticipation. He's just somewhere there on the background. Also, the entire mystery around the Jedi or Brandok is just dumb as fuck. I mean, from the very beginning it's painfully obvious. If Mei is hunting specific Jedis, then it's obviously revenge.
Jedi do not attack the unarmed.
Yes, you do.
One Jedi literally drinks poison and begs forgiveness, so clearly something bad happened. Then, in the flashback from episode 3, after a totally non-lethal explosion, all the witches somehow ended up dead. No survivors, no injuries, no debris, no bomb crater, no burned bodies, they just all gently fell over and died in the same spot. But again, this is treated like some sort of big mystery the whole show is built around. And they stretch it out for 3 more episodes after flashback, with this fake build-up and dragged out pace. Talking about flashbacks, first of all, structurally, they're just awful. Interrupting the flow of the story twice to dedicate an entire episode to a flashback is incredibly painful. I don't mind flashback in first episode, like in Silo or Foundation series, where the first episode is just setup and exposition. It's not ideal, I don't like it, but it is fine. But in Acolyte, we get hit with a flashback in episode 3 after we've already gotten into the rhythm of the story in the first 2 episodes, and then again in episode 7, 1 episode before the final. Structurally, it's even more frustrating than Foundation. Check my video about Foundation, by the way. Now let's talk about the actual content of the flashbacks. And yeah, as I said in the intro, I'm perfectly fine with feminist Amazon lesbian witch coven if there's a strong world building and storytelling, and
Yes.
there is not. I had no idea who these witches are, why they live here, why they are on the run, how their society works, what their purpose, what roles Mei and Osha are supposed to play, what the point of their birth was, or how they are supposed to lead this coven. But it just feels like empty, directionless something. The only things I got from this were: women are oppressed, misunderstood, and not allowed by evil Jedi to express their feminine, witchy, dark energy. And look, I think this idea of women unleashing their witchy, dark sexual energy is perfectly fine.
This shit eat ass. This shit eats a whole meal.
We can see great examples of this in Antichrist, Midsommar, Nymphomaniac, The Witch, Nosferatu, or Mother. That's actually a great trope. But here, confirmed, just a tasteless, cringe collection of feminists, nothing more. Osha somehow wants to become a Jedi and explore the galaxy, even though supposedly the entire culture of this coven is built around being hunted by the Jedis. She was raised in a society that should have taught her nothing but hatred and fear of the Jedi, and she literally had no way to hear anything good about them. They live in a complete isolation. Also, Osha grew up in a closed, collectivist, communist community with a twin sister, but for some reason she dreams of escaping and becoming an individualist. Maybe because communism is so bad that even feminists can make it work. But look, I'm from Russia. My father, grandmothers, grandfathers spent like 30 to 40 years in the USSR, and every single one of them said it was the amazing society where people truly felt like brothers, like community, and they see modern capitalist world as fake, cold and predatory. I don't think that way. I was raised in modern Russia and modern culture, but I've heard from dozens of first-hand witnesses that communism is great. But anyway, Osha doesn't want communism. She wants to become a Jedi and live. And her wise feminist lesbian mother, despite everything, just lets her go. Opposing the evil authoritarian Jedi, she still sacrifices herself, wanting her daughter to have freedom. She is just that wise and lesbian and feminist. The only decent part of this flashback is what it shows about Mei and Osha connection. Like from the beginning, Mei is deeply attached to Osha, and overall she's more positive and conformist, content with her life and devoted to her family and community. Meanwhile, Osha immediately shows internal conflict, rejection, a hunger for more, and a sense of being out of place. And that's actually a solid foundation for a future role reversal. Mei ended up abandoning the dark side easily for her sister, while Osha continues carrying this internal fracture. She couldn't find place with witches, with Jedis, and this conflict might ultimately push her towards darkness. So conceptually, this side of this flashback works. Now the second flashback. I don't even want to talk about it. Everything the Jedi do, all their motivation, it is just trash tier writing. Why does Torbin want to go home? Why don't they tell him the mission's purpose? What did the witch even gain from entering his mind? Why did she start turning into a black cloud? Why is Saul so attached to kids? Why exactly is he so sure they will be sacrificed? What's the point of these kids' creation? Why does it matter? What is Saul's goal with these virgins? What does these virgins mean to the Jedi? What are their plans for the twins? Like, I felt zero significance in anything of this. Like, I get what they wanted to say, something like, look at this tragic, painful misunderstanding, and everyone had good intentions, but it all went horribly wrong. But honestly, it's so badly written, I just don't even want to analyze it. I just had no interest in it, no emotional engagement, it was just pure disappointment. Even though it is like climax of the story. Talking about the development of our key characters, Osha and Mei, well, there's no development. Honestly, I absolutely love the core idea of the Acolyte. One sister carries hatred, walks the path toward becoming a villain, and seemingly has all the right ingredients, but turns out to be unfit. Meanwhile, the good sister is the one who ends up becoming the actual Acolyte. Like, it is the good idea in my opinion, but the way show handles it... Like, yeah, in the first few episodes we see that Mei hesitates a bit. She kills two Jedi pretty coldly, but she doesn't feel like pure villain. And it could be a good foundation for her future arc of turning away from her Sith master, but there's no any build-up. In episode 4, the moment Mei finds out Osha is alive, she hesitates once. Like,
How am I supposed to kill a Jedi without a weapon?
And then, in the next scene, she goes,
You know what, whatever, I'm loyal to Osha now. Leaving Osha changes everything. I'll go turn myself into Jedi and snitch on my Sith master.
When I saw this, I literally thought I might be missing a whole episode of Mei development and inner conflict, but no, that's just how it is. The writers apparently thought like, well, Mei really loved her sister as a child, we showed it, and that's enough. Like, yeah, that's the good justification to completely switch her character. Like, sure, you can justify that emotionally. She sees her sister alive and all the rage and revenge fades away, because her sister was always the most important thing for her. But bro, just give one episode for this struggle. Show some pain, a confrontation with Osha, maybe her master being disappointed in her, maybe she fails to kill a Jedi, just something to illustrate this change. But instead, they just insta-flip her. It was so bad moment that after that, Mei, who was already borderline hollow character, is just completely destroyed. The only good moment about it is that our Asian Sith guy is actively trying to kill her now. Then she dresses as Osha and goes with Sol, for reasons that makes no sense. Why not just tell Osha that Sol killed their mother, and then they could have both gone straight to him and demand the truth? But if in terms of storytelling, the point was to send Osha to the Sith first, so she could become more open to the dark side, then why they two should meet here? Like, it's so absurd. Of course, the first thing that Mei should say,
He killed our mother. He killed our mother. Osha.
Osha, let's unite.
He killed our mother.
You didn't know?
He killed our mother.
and then Mei travels with Sol, and don't even get me started on this hamster. That's honestly the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, Mei had all the potential in this world for a good transformation arc, but the writers chose to skip literally all of her development, flip the switch instantly, and then sent Mei into some pointless side quest. Absolutely wasted character. But as for Osha, she might be even worse. Mei at least does things. She takes action, moves the plot forward, and her emotions are somewhat coherent. Hatred for the Jedi, love and loyalty to her sister, fear of the Sith. Surely it's all poorly justified, but at least it is there. Osha, on the other hand, is just useless. It is hard to believe she has any meaningful connection to the Jedi or loyalty to them. We are just told she used to be a Jedi. That's it. We are told she somehow couldn't continue her training as Jedi, but we don't know why. But of course, Osha is perfectly willing to immediately turn against her long-lost sister, and she wants to turn her into the Jedi, because
Those Jedi were more my family than you ever were.
she is also supposed to have some major predisposition towards the dark side. Supposedly, she couldn't control her negative emotions, and that's why she couldn't become a Jedi. But again, we never see this until the very end. She is also apparently some kind of Force baby, not quite human, created by the Force. But again, until the final episodes, Osha doesn't do a single special thing with the Force. But I guess I would like to see from Osha character something like Ciri from The Witcher. Like generally kind and normal person, but if she can't control her dark side rage, something like this might happen. And finally we have this sequence where she hanging out with Kimir, which should have been a crucial part of her character development. The Sith trying to lure the Jedi to the dark side, but the interaction is completely hollow. Honestly, after watching this segment twice, I can't even recall what were they talking about, so let me revisit it. Like, the only thing I remember is that they almost fucked, and yeah, I would probably fuck him. Kimir says he's misunderstood and rejected. We have no idea what he wants in life. He rationally wants an apprentice. I guess he could just have a kid and he would be fine. He seems to enjoy staying in negativity and drawing power from it, just like people who set Kaneki Ken as their avatar and watch fucking incel video like epidemic of loneliness, young people prefer to stay alone, women reject men. So yeah, I guess Kimir is the perfect depressed Duma Sith Lord for our generation. Also, he says the Jedi method of disciplined Force use isn't really that great. Like, you know, it is just
Semantics.
Then he gives Osha a therapy session to dig out her repressed emotions. If that was qualified as a dark side worthy outburst, then I'm basically dancing on the edge of becoming a Sith every day. Then she puts on the helmet and has a vision. And that's it. The entire Osha Kimir segment is just flat and limp. I don't buy for a second that it contributes in any real way to Osha's fall. Then, suddenly, surprise, turns out calm and sweet Osha has always struggled with her negative emotions, and now she attacks Mei in rage and kills all. Well, what can I say? As a concept, Osha had a great potential, but just like with Mei, we have zero character development. You know, I'm trying to remember some anime character who was sweet and kind, but then became a monster. Write in comment please, because anime is for fucking gays and I'm straight as fuck. No Timothy, I can't fuck right now, wait 1 hour please. And you know, also speaking of the plot, I'm honestly glad this show got cancelled, just because I hate when show heavily relies on cliffhanger ending, and the Acolyte went all in on this. We've got Kimir betrayed by his green-skinned master, we've got Yoda and the Jedi who are supposed to deal with all this, we've got Darth Plagueis, and since he ends up being Palpatine's master, it's obvious Kimir and Osha will just die or become irrelevant. We've got Mei with her memory wiped, but clearly still connected to the Force, to Osha and to her childhood trauma, and she will heal her memories. We've got Osha, who is switched to the dark side with zero motivation or clear purpose in life, and of course she has to find some. Basically, the show assumed it would be allowed to continue and thought it could buy our interest by dangling all these cliffhangers, and I'm really glad that creators got punished for this. In my opinion, every season should end with something specific and self-contained, but just leave the door open for continuation and be so good that people just want the next season. For example, Shogun is a complete story, but you could absolutely easily expand it, and it was expanded because people love Shogun. And Acolyte got what it deserved for its shameless reliance on cliffhangers instead of building a solid, good show. And now I want to go over some random moments from Acolyte. First of all, I do like the fight scenes, especially this one. Visually beautiful, set in dark forest with glowing lightsabers, long and varied choreography, funny use of the Force and the helmet. It was also satisfyingly brutal. We killed a bunch of Jedi and Kimir genuinely tried to kill Mei for her betrayal, which I appreciated. I'm usually very forgiving about the plot holes, and I don't care about the logic as much as I care about storytelling and drama, but Acolyte contains so stupid mistakes that it pisses off even me. For example, Jedi can read minds, and we see them use that power even in non-critical situation, even during the fight with Mei. But for some reason they just decide not to scan Kimir, a guy directly linked to Jedi murders and Sith involvement. Just name me one single reason why not to do it. Just one. Or for example, this prison ship. How the hell is this creature with absurdly long and powerful tentacle being kept in a cell like this, in a galaxy where they clearly know the biology of every species? This shouldn't be a surprise. Creatures like that should have specialized containment. And of course, the prison ship is run entirely by droids, yet they're transporting some sort of cyborg who can remotely hack into droids. Just genius. And okay, maybe I could forgive this dumb prison break if it actually mattered for the plot, but no. Osha just crash lands on some random planet, she's immediately found, no problem with it, and she achieves nothing on that planet except having a vision about Mei, but she could have just had this vision sitting on a toilet. You never explained me that this planet somehow helps her to have this vision. I guess maybe this segment showed us she is a good person because she helped this prisoner and didn't join the criminals. But did we really need to burn half the episode for this? Sometimes the show also drops a truly disgusting exposition, like here.
As you know, my old friend, I've known you for 6 years. I was training to become a Jedi, but as you know, it didn't work out.
Ah, I see. And as you know, you lost your mother and sister and your training was difficult.
Honestly, just for this alone, I wanted to drop the show. Because this kind of exposition means the show was done for degenerates. And by watching it, I automatically become more degenerate. What does it mean, become degenerate? I already is. Also, most aliens in the show are fine, but that green-skinned woman is just cringe. They literally just painted a woman with a green paint. That's it. No horns, no scales, no lenses, not even colored lips, just lazy as fuck. And you know, they are not lazy, they show a lot of creatures and humanoids. They really decided this looks cool. Also, this witch lesbian is hot as fuck. I just imagine she is dominating me and screams,
Yes.
yeah, that's good bro. Of course, it's stupid as hell that Mei doesn't know Kemir is the Sith Lord, but whatever. Also, I can't find peace with the guy playing Sol. I like him, I like the accent, he kinda works as the wise Jedi. He also gives off the vibe of someone weighed down by guilt and regret, but something is just off. I can't see a Jedi, I see an actor playing a Jedi. Even these clowns felt more like Jedi than Sol did. He just feels fake. So yeah bro, that was my opinion on the Acolyte. Honestly, I didn't even want to make a video about it. Unlike Andor, this show doesn't even evoke my rage. Andor was somehow good, so because of this I was so furious at how much the first episode sucked. Acolyte though, I felt nothing. No anger, no excitement, no interest, just wasted time. Like, you know, the whole thing just feels talentless. Like, the writers literally do not understand how storytelling works. They bet everything on this endless, boring mystery cliffhanger garbage. All that drawn out tension around Sol and fucking Brandok. They completely failed to write any development for Mei or Osha, and instead turned them into empty, awful characters that go through sudden 180 shifts in a single scene. They failed to build true mystery around Brandok, just made it cringe. And they definitely failed to do world building. Brandok is just some empty feminist
The message.
for modern audiences.
Believe that.
They didn't show us anything compelling about the Sith.
Semantics.
Don't be a smartass.
Semantics.
I mean it. Conduct yourself properly.
Consciousness.
Your analytical approach is faulty.
Semantics.
I'm done with you.
To be honest, it's extremely painful for me to pronounce Sith. You know how we call them in Russia? Sith. Sith. I can't just pronounce Siths. 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 Sithhi. Sithhi. One Sith. Many Sithhi. So, they didn't show us anything compelling about the Sithhi. The Sith apprentice just wanders around, completing a quest she doesn't understand, and the Sith Lord himself is just some sad anime boy with a very juicy sweet. They didn't even make the Jedi interesting. They are not dark, complex or power hungry. They just do dumb, incompetent shit and do cover for each other. And of course all the media noise around the bigotry, racism and cancellation. I genuinely hope shows like Acolyte and Rings of Power, the ones trying to succeed not with a good story but with brain-dead propaganda, will keep losing billion, losing viewer trust and lose their credibility. And fucking suck. As always, the only people who put any real effort into the Acolyte were the artists, sound designers and actors. Some of them. Basically everyone except the writers and executives. Though, to be fair, I always want to believe that people with access to millions of dollars are smarter than me, fucking YouTuber with 60 subscribers. So maybe the Acolyte had a goal to attract a new audience. Modern audiences. Like maybe core Star Wars audiences is not enough to make money. So the show tried to reach to new viewers. Women, gays and degenerates. But that theory falls apart because, for example, The Force Awakens, back when Disney hadn't become a shithole, made a ton of money. So clearly there was a huge audience for regular Star Wars. So at the end of the day, I don't even care about Star Wars. I don't even care if they fucked up your favorite lore. I don't care about gay witch feminist coven. I don't care about black actors in sci-fi series. But like, Of course I do, I am Russian, so I'm xenophobic and racist by definition. By the way, bro, it's absolutely not true, because in Russia we have people of different races, cultures, immigrants, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. So Russia is not racist at all. It is your European American problem. I never knew this problem. But of course, if you are gay, it's a little bit different. If you are open gay outside of center of Moscow, you probably will not live long life. Or at least undamaged life. Like, you know, with all limbs, for example. Joking. I'm joking. I'm fucking joking.
Merry Christmas, mother.
I'm fucking joking, my little sweet gay brother. So yes, even I'm absolutely woke person and not caring about Star Wars. Absolutely hate Acolyte just for pure storytelling reasons. So, okay, bro. Bye-bye.
Что ты, бля, ёбаная, ты нахуй ёбаная, блядь, нахуй ёбаная.